"Listen to me," said the demon as he placed his hand upon my head. "The region of which I speak is a dreary region in Libya, by the borders of the river Zaire, and there is no quiet there, nor silence. The waters of the river have a saffron and sickly hue, and they flow not onwards to the sea, but palpitate forever and forever beneath the red eye of the sun, with a tumultuous and convulsive motion. For many miles on either side of the river's oozy bed is a pale desert of gigantic water lilies. They sigh one unto the other in that solitude, and stretch towards the heaven their long and ghastly necks, and nod to and fro their everlasting heads. And there's an indistinct murmur which cometh out from among them like the rushing of subterranean water, and they sigh one unto the other. It was night, and the rain fell, and falling it was rain, but having fallen it was blood. And I stood in the morass among the tall water lilies, and the rain fell upon my head, and the lilies sighed one unto the other. And all at once the moon arose through the thin ghastly mist, and my eyes fell upon a huge grey rock. And the rock was grey and ghastly and tall, and the rock was grey. Upon its front were characters engraven in the stone, and the characters were desolation. And I looked upwards, and there stood a man upon the summit of the rock. And the man was tall and stately in form, and was wrapped up from his shoulders to his feet in the toga of old Rome. And his features were the features of a deity, and his brow was lofty with thought, and his eye wild with care. And in a few furrows upon his cheek I read the fables of sorrow, and weariness, and disgust with mankind, and the longing after solitude. And I lay close within my covert and observed the actions of the man. And the man trembled in the solitude, but the night waned, and he sat upon the rock. Then I cursed the elements with the curse of tumult, and a frightful tempest gathered in the heaven, and the heaven became livid with the violence of the tempest. And the floods of the river came down, and the thunder rolled, and the lightning fell, and the rock rocked to its foundation. And I lay close within my covert and observed the actions of the man. And the man trembled in the solitude, but the night waned, and he sat upon the rock. Then I grew angry and cursed with the curse of silence, the river, and the lilies, and the wind, and the forest, and the heaven, and the thunder, and the sighs of the water lilies. And they became accursed, and were still. And the moon ceased to totter up its pathway to heaven, and the thunder died away, and the lightning did not flash, and the clouds hung motionless, and the trees ceased to rock, and the water lilies sighed no more, and the murmur was heard no longer from among them, nor any shadow of sound throughout the vast, illimitable desert. And I looked upon the characters of the rock, and they were changed, and the characters were silenced. And mine eyes fell upon the countenance of the man, and his countenance was wan with terror. And hurriedly he raised his head from his hand, and stood forth upon the rock, and listened. But there was no voice throughout the vast illimitable desert, and the characters upon the rock were silence. And the man shuddered, and turned his face away, and fled afar off in haste, so that I beheld him no more. And as the demon made an end to his story, he fell back within the cavity of the tomb and laughed. And I could not laugh with the demon, and he cursed me because I could not laugh. And the lynx, which dwelt forever in the tomb, came out therefrom, and lay down at the feet of the demon, and looked at him steadily in the face.